What's up everybody, Danny's here, and in this video, I'd like to talk about facts about the Virtual Boy you didn't know on the Nintendo Switch. So anyways, let's talk about it. The Virtual Boy is out now on the Nintendo Switch and on the Nintendo Switch 2. You do want to make sure that the Virtual Boy is playable, because it's not playable in dock mode. But did you know that the Virtual Boy is not playable on the Nintendo Switch Lite? That's a great fact, though, that we gotta talk about. The Virtual Boy is only playable on the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch OLED, and the Nintendo Switch 2, because it only supports on the Virtual Boy Accessory. The Virtual Boy Accessory only works on the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch OLED, and the Nintendo Switch 2, because what I'm seeing right now is that the Nintendo Switch Lite does not work with the Virtual Boy, because it's a Nintendo Switch Lite, it's a cheaper Nintendo Switch, and you cannot detach any Joy-Con controllers, which means that if you try to get the Virtual Boy on the Nintendo Switch Lite, it is not playable on the Nintendo Switch Lite. So the Virtual Boy only works on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch OLED, and the Nintendo Switch 2. Now this makes a lot of sense though, because if you play the Virtual Boy on your Switch, if you have one Nintendo Switch, like the regular Switch, the Switch OLED, or the Switch 2, it's got to be on a bigger screen. It's got to be on a bigger screen, like, I'll show you. Something like this, though, definitely. Because right now, the Virtual Boy has lots of games that does work. I mean, the Virtual Boy works on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch OLED, and the Nintendo Switch 2. But also, if you try to play on dock mode, you'll still get the reminder that you will need to play in handheld mode or in VR mode. Now this makes a lot of sense though, because I know this is like when GameCube is not playable on the Switch 1. You guys remember, right? Because the Nintendo GameCube only works on the Nintendo Switch 2, which I guess makes a lot of sense though. And I've seen one person on TikTok asks me this question: does the Virtual Boy work on the Nintendo Switch Lite? And I don't think so, honestly, because right now we're seeing that the Virtual Boy is only supported on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch OLED, and on the Nintendo Switch 2. Because for the Virtual Boy, as we're seeing right now, if you play in handheld mode on any Switch consoles you have, except the Switch Lite. So if you play in handheld mode, you'll still play in two screens, though. Kind of like what you see on the Nintendo 3DS and the Nintendo 2DS. Somehow. It's kind of like what you see on the Nintendo 3DS, though. So, I know the Virtual Boy can play in 3D, but I wonder if the Virtual Boy can play in 2D mode. Wonder if this would be a thing still. Kind of like what you see with the Nintendo 3DS. And also what I'm seeing about the Virtual Boy on the Nintendo Switch, what I'm seeing right now is that if you have the Virtual Boy Accessory, then you'll still play Virtual Boy games in full screen, which kind of makes a lot of sense though. But with the Virtual Boy games on the Nintendo Switch, if you play in handheld mode, you'll still play in two-screen mode, because you'll have the gameplay. I mean, it's kind of like what you see without virtual reality mode. That's what it's like though, because virtual reality mode means like 3D, 2D games, something like that though. Which kind of makes a lot of sense though. I mean, have you guys played the Virtual Boy without the accessory or with the accessory? I would like to know in the comments below though. And now just a reminder, if you have a Nintendo Switch Lite, you cannot get the Virtual Boy on the Nintendo Switch Lite, because the Virtual Boy only works on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch OLED, and the Nintendo Switch 2. So anyways, I think this video is going to wrap it up here for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you do, make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a comment, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you guys are new to this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace!